Alright, it's time for another Market Movers video here today, and we're going to look at the top...
Just stop, man! Just stop with these videos! You just look at MTG stocks and name off cards and how much percentages they went up. I hate you! Just die!
I understand.
Why don't you just die?
Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to go over another Market Movers, and we have 15 cards to go through on this list here today. And then I'm also going to talk about some foils that I'm actually going to be purchasing. Well, I've purchased already some of them already, but I'm going to be purchasing more of these. Island of Whack Whack is number 15, up 33% here today from $150 to $200. Now, Arabian Nights cards are hard to find near mint copies of them available, so good luck out there trying to hunt these ones. Martin Stromgall, this is up 38% from $25.28 to $34.95. Now, this is a reserve list card with quite an aggressive spike there at the end, and there's lots and lots of copies of these cards out here. From Ice Age is a pretty high print run, along with Homelands as well, so I wouldn't be paying these prices right now. Maybe wait for a pullback if you want to grab some reserve list copies. We have Wood Elemental here from Legends. This is up 40% here today from $19.99 to $28.09. Now, this card is not particularly good, but, you know, it's a reserve list card, so people need to buy it out, so that's why it's going up here today. And we also have another card here on the list that is a reserve list card. It's Unfulfilled Desires from Mirage. This is up 44% from $5.20 to $7.49. Now, anything under $10 for reserve list seems to be pretty cheap, and a lot of these smaller, cheap copies of reserve list cards are being bought up, and Mirage seems to be a set that a lot of cards that are being bought up on this list here today. Cleaving Reaper from Kaldheim, this is up 48% from $269 to $399. Now, this is a great card. You can basically just pay 3 life and return this card back to your hand, so it's a very powerful effect, and I'm imagining you're going to be seeing this in Standard and a lot of Commander play as well. Great Angel Berserker card here. And we have the Abyss from Legends. This is up 48% from $2,350 to $3,497. Now, this is quite the buyout. Most of this is going to be listings that are maybe priced a little bit above the regular market price, but people are getting a feeler for the market and seeing what people are interested in, and maybe people are looking for more reserve list cards. Leviathan from the Dark. This is up 50% from $5.63 to $8.47. Now, the Dark is one of the higher print runs for some of the reserve sets, so I don't think that it's going to be worth it buying it at this price, but it's still not at its all-time high. Spoils of Evil from Ice Age. This is up 57% from $6.99 to $10.99. This is a reserve list card as well. I love the art on this card, very unique, and it's a reserve list card that is just getting above $10 now, but I still think this could be a good pickup if you find it for under that. Etcher's Familiar. This is from Weatherlife, and this is up 57% from $251 to $396. Now, this is a very cheap reserve list card, and that's why it's going up here today. People are kind of just, sniping anything that they see that are under a certain price that are reserve list, and they're trying to buy out those copies before they dry up. Elven Ambush from Kaldheim. This is a 63% boom from $223 to $364. This is an instant that basically creates 1/1 elf warrior creature tokens for each elf you control. So just imagine playing this in Commander when you got a whole board of elves, and you're just basically duplicating every single one of them as a 1/1. If you have lords, they'll be stronger than a 1/1, with maybe even increased toughness and attack. We have Phyrexian Dreadnought here from Mirage. We have a lot of Mirage cards on this list here today. This is up 85% from $69.99 to $130. This is one of those cards that you might be able to find in bulk bins because the older copies didn't have the gold symbol for rares or uncommons for the silver color and gold for rares. So this is one that I could have in one of my bulk bins that I'll have to look over, but great price movement there on that jump. The Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. This is up 151% from $2,626 to $6,616. Wow. Incredible movement there. This is mostly based on incorrect pricing on TCG Player, but this is one of the most sought after reserve list cards and the best card, people would argue, in Legends, so great price movement there today. Phyrexian Purge, another Mirage card that is a reserve list card as well. This is up 200% from $7.39 to $22.24. Now, it's not the best card but it's still reserve list, so people are looking to snipe any cheap copy. And this was just under 10 recently, but has quite a massive jump to over 200%. Jeweled Bird from Arabian Nights. This is up 241% from 51.23 to 175. Now, a lot of Arabian Nights cards are being bought out, and they're not reserve list. So that says something about the market and where the people want to put their money. Prismatic Lace from Mirage. This is our #1 card on the list here today, and this is a reserve list card as well. 265% jump from 136 to 497, and this is a very cheap reserve list card. And again, a lot of people are finding cheap copies of reserve list cards, and they're looking to buy them out. That's why a lot of the market movements here today. Cheap 7th edition foils, and these are some foils that I've already purchased, and I'm looking to buy more. So I'm just going to give you guys some specs on here. So Wood Elves is 7th edition. This is one of the original foil versions of Wood Elves. 7th edition is obviously the first time you've seen foils in Magic the Gathering, but this is an iconic card, and it's only $46 on the market for foil, and it's seen in a lot of Elf Tribal decks in Commander. Arcane Laboratory from 7th edition, obviously, and this is a $27 foil. A great card to play in Commander. Each player can't play more than one spell each turn. This really slows the game down to your tempo, and I think it's a great foil blink card to have if you have any deck that runs blue. Nightmare 7th edition. This is one of the most iconic cards in the game, and I'm telling you right now, I think it's a steal if you can grab it for under $40 in a near mint condition. It's one of the most iconic cards from Alpha and Beta, and one of the first foils out there on the market. And 7th edition was the first variation of these foils, and it has a nice old border look to it. So I think this is a great grab, and I actually purchased a few copies of my own. And we're going to look here today for today's biggest loser. And it's a card that has seen all-time highs recently, and it's looking like there is a bit of a pullback here on this card today, and that is Nova Pentacle. Yes, it is down 26% from $95.47 to $70, but it is a reserve list card. A lot of this is probably just mispricing on TCG Player. People realize that there wasn't as strong of a demand for that, and you're going to see that with a lot of reserve list cards. There's not going to be as much of a demand as people may think, and that's one of my final thoughts on this market, is that reserve list still seems to be the main focus again. However, a lot of them are cheaper copies, and now people are going from Arabian Nights and Legends to Mirage and Weatherlight, and they're basically going down, and eventually you're going to see a lot of Homelands cards that are reserve list on there, because you're seeing some Ice Age as well, and those copies are fairly cheap. So if anyone wants to spec on reserve list cards, you know, even just buying a few copies, you never know. Sometimes it's just fun to spec on cards, and reserve lists seem to be a good area to spec since there's no competitive play. People can't really draw that many conclusions, at least from a face-to-face gameplay. Obviously, on MTG Arena, there is going to be these cards being played, and we'll see in the coming weeks which cards have the most effect, and people will spec on them. But really, hard copies of cards, if they're going to be collectibles, it's going to be reserve lists, are going to be the main specs. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and I will see you on Monday for another Market Movers.